All right, so get this. We're going to take a deep dive today into the future of education.
The future of education? Oh, wow.
We've got our hands on this script, and it's not like your typical, dry research paper.
Mm-hmm.
It's like a glimpse into what learning could actually look like in the coming years. And
Yeah.
it paints a really vivid picture. Like, imagine stepping into ancient Egypt for your history class.
Wow.
How cool would that be?
That's amazing. And it's not all just about the technology either.
Right.
It really digs into the why behind these potential changes,
Exactly. Like, why is this all happening?
Yeah, why is this all happening?
And the script starts off in this futuristic classroom.
Okay.
You can instantly tell, okay, technology is front and center. There are holograms and AI, the whole 9 yards. But it's not about replacing teachers, what I thought was interesting.
That's a really important point. It's more about giving teachers tools to, be even better at what they do, supercharge them.
Yeah, like empowering them with technology.
Exactly.
So let's talk about the tech. There's a whole section on personalized learning.
Personalized learning, okay.
Basically, it's tailoring lessons to each student's needs.
Right.
The script introduces this AI called EduBot,
EduBot.
which is like a personal tutor.
Wow.
For every kid, it creates these custom lesson plans based on the student's strengths and weaknesses.
So it adapts to how they learn.
Exactly.
That's really cool.
We see it in action with this student named Alex.
Alex.
And it's fascinating how EduBot adapts to his learning style.
You know what's interesting about that?
Why
If
not?
you think about traditional classrooms, everyone gets the same lesson, whether they're already ahead or need a little extra help.
Yeah, everyone's on the same track.
Right. So this tech could make learning truly individual, just like having, a one-on-one tutor.
Right, which so many students crave.
Exactly.
And think about all the time it would free up for teachers to connect with their students.
Oh, I see.
Instead of, being bogged down by grading papers and all that.
Yeah, all the administrative stuff.
Exactly. And the script emphasizes how important that human interaction is, even with all this tech around.
Makes sense. So it's not replacing teachers, it's changing their role.
Yeah, exactly.
More like mentors or guides.
Yes.
Okay, so let's talk about the VR and AR stuff. That's where things got really mind-blowing for me.
Yeah.
The script describes students taking these virtual field trips.
I know.
Like, imagine going to ancient Egypt, walking among the pyramids,
Oh, my gosh.
talking with the pharaohs.
Oh, can you imagine?
It'd be incredible.
Can you imagine how much more you would remember from a history class like that?
Right. I mean, it'd be so much more engaging.
Right.
But of course, with any big advancements, there are always those questions, like, will everyone be able to experience this?
That's a good question.
The access and equity issue, right?
Hmm.
Will it only be for those fancy, well-funded schools?
Right. Will it be for everyone, or will it be for the privileged few?
Exactly.
And the script doesn't shy away from that either. It really highlights how important it is to make sure every student has that opportunity, regardless of their background or their location.
Yeah, because imagine the possibilities, students in, rural communities connecting with classrooms around the world.
Oh my gosh, yes. Learning from experts anywhere. That's incredible.
That's the kind of global learning technology can unlock.
That's so cool.
It really is.
But there are challenges with remote learning too, right?
Of course.
Like, how do we make sure online classes are just as good as being there in person?
That's a big one, and the script brings that up.
Oh, good.
It mentions quality control, like, are these online courses actually good?
Right.
And also things like, the digital divide.
Yeah.
Making sure everyone has internet access.
Right, because that's not a guarantee.
No, not at all.
So it's not like flipping a switch and everything's online now.
Exactly. There's a lot to figure out.
There are a lot of practical considerations.
Absolutely.
Speaking of practical skills, the script also dives into this trend of skills-based learning.
Skills-based learning, okay.
There's a scene where students are using robotics and coding to solve, real-world problems.
Oh, cool.
It's all about learning by doing, applying that knowledge, not just memorizing facts.
Right, and that's so important in today's world.
Yes.
Because information is everywhere.
It's like Google it.
Exactly. So it's more about being able to think critically, solve problems creatively, and adapt to new situations. Those are the skills employers are looking for.
Right, like that old model of go to school, get a degree, and you're set for life.
Yeah, that's out the window.
It doesn't work anymore.
It's all about continuous learning now.
It is, and the script touches on that too, that concept of lifelong learning.
Lifelong learning.
It even has a scene with an adult going back to school
Wow.
to learn new skills for a career change.
Which is happening more and more these days.
All the time. Yeah, the job market is changing so fast.
Exactly. Got to stay ahead of the curve.
So before we wrap up part one, I want to address the elephant in the room, With all this talk about robots and AI,
Mhm.
are teachers going to be obsolete? What does the script say about that?
Well, the script makes it very clear that teachers are still absolutely essential,
Oh, good.
even in this, high-tech future.
Phew, that's a relief.
Right.
Because I can't imagine a world without teachers, you know?
Yeah, I can't either.
Passionate educators guiding and inspiring students.
Yeah, but their role might evolve. Like,
Mhm.
imagine teachers becoming more like mentors, facilitators,
Okay.
helping students navigate this whole new world of learning.
I like that, like expert navigators,
Exactly.
guiding students on their learning journey.
That's a great way to put it, and I think that's a good place to pause for now.
Yes, a good spot to stop.
In part 2, we'll dive deeper into the challenges and opportunities of this future of education.
Yes, we'll get into the nitty-gritty.
We'll explore things like the digital divide, quality control in online learning,
Hmm.
and how to maintain that human connection in a digital world.
Yes, because that's so important.
It really is.
And we'll talk about what it even means to be educated in a world where knowledge is constantly evolving. So stay tuned.
Stay tuned. Welcome back to our deep dive into the future of education.
So in part 1, we were getting pretty excited about all the possibilities, personalized learning, AI tutors.
Yeah, virtual field trips.
Oh, yeah. Ancient Egypt.
It's easy to get swept up in all the shiny new tech.
For sure, for sure. But like with any big change,
Mm-hmm.
there are going to be some bumps in the road, right?
Absolutely.
And our expert team, they made sure to point those out too.
Oh, good.
One that comes to mind is the digital divide.
Yes, the digital divide, that's a big one.
Could you refresh my memory on what that is exactly?
Of course. So the digital divide is basically the gap between those who have access to technology and the internet and those who don't.
Okay.
And it can be influenced by things like, socioeconomic status,
Right.
geography, age.
Makes sense.
And when we're talking about a future where education is so reliant on technology, that divide becomes a major obstacle.
It does, because if not everyone has access to the same tools,
Yeah,
it's not really a level playing field.
exactly. And we need to make sure that every student has equal opportunities to access these tools,
Right.
regardless of, their background or where they live.
Otherwise, you're creating a system where only some students benefit.
Precisely.
And that's not what we want.
No, not at all.
So how do we address that? I don't think the script really went into detail.
Yeah, that's where we need to go beyond the script and think critically.
Right.
Bridging the digital divide is going to require a multifaceted approach,
Okay.
investing in infrastructure, affordable devices, digital literacy programs.
That sounds like a lot.
It is. It's a big challenge, but it's essential if we want to make education truly equitable.
Worth it.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
So another challenge, I think, is quality control.
Yes, quality control for online education. How do we ensure those virtual classrooms are just as effective as in-person learning?
Right, because just because something is online doesn't mean it's good. Exactly. And the script acknowledges that,
Okay.
just about the need for standards,
Okay.
making sure the instructors are qualified, the curriculum is well designed, there are interactive activities,
So it's not just like throwing a lecture up on YouTube.
No, it's about creating a whole learning experience.
A virtual learning environment.
Right, and that requires a shift in thinking for both teachers and students.
How so?
Well, teachers need to develop new skills for teaching online,
Mm-hmm.
and students need to be more proactive,
Oh, interesting.
engaging with the material, seeking help when they need it.
It's a different skill set.
It is.
But what about the social aspect?
Ah, yes, the social and emotional side of learning.
Can that be replicated online?
That's a really good question because, part of what makes learning fun is that interaction.
Right, being in a classroom with your friends, bouncing ideas off each other.
Exactly. That human connection is so important.
It is.
And while technology can help facilitate communication, it can't fully replace those in-person interactions.
So how do we find that balance then?
That's the key, isn't it? Finding that balance.
Using technology to enhance the human element rather than replace it.
Right. And there's no easy answer. It's going to take experimentation.
Trial and error.
Exactly. Some schools are already trying blended learning models.
Blended learning, what's that?
So it's combining online and in-person instruction.
Oh, interesting, like a hybrid approach?
Yeah, like maybe using online platforms for lectures,
Right.
and then in-person time for discussions and group projects.
Oh, I like that. Get the best of both worlds.
Exactly. It's about being thoughtful about how we use technology.
Right, it's a tool.
It is a tool, and we need to use it wisely.
So we've talked about the potential pitfalls.
Mm-hmm.
But what about the flip side?
Mm-hmm.
What are some of the most exciting opportunities you see?
There are so many possibilities, but for me, one of the most promising is personalized learning.
Oh, yeah, we touched on that before.
It's really about empowering students to take ownership of their education.
Okay, tell me more.
So imagine a world where education is no longer one size fits all.
Yeah,
It's tailored to each student's needs and interests.
like custom-made education?
Exactly, and technology can make that happen. We talked about AI tutors like EdBoo,
Right.
but there are other technologies too, like adaptive learning platforms.
Adaptive learning platforms, what are those?
So these platforms adjust the difficulty of lessons based on how the student is doing.
Oh, wow.
So if you're struggling, it slows down,
Yeah.
gives you extra support, and if you're excelling, it challenges you more.
It's learning about the learner.
Exactly. And that kind of individualized instruction can be incredibly powerful.
I can see that.
It helps students reach their full potential.
So we're moving away from this standardized model.
Yes, towards something much more flexible and responsive.
It's exciting.
It is. It really is.
But with all these advancements, what does it even mean to be educated in the future?
That's the big question, isn't it?
Is it still about accumulating knowledge, or is it something more?
Well, that's what we'll explore in part 3 of our deep dive.
Ooh, a cliffhanger.
Stay tuned.
Okay, so we're back for the final part of our deep dive into the future of education. And we've talked about AI, virtual field trips, all this cool stuff. But now it's time to get, a little philosophical.
I like it.
What does it even mean
Yeah.
to be educated in this crazy world?
That is the question, right?
It is, because it used to be all about memorizing facts. But now you can just Google everything.
Exactly. So what's important now?
Yeah, what is it?
Well, the script points to this shift, right?
Okay.
From knowledge to skills.
Skills. Okay.
It's not what you know, but what you can do with what you know.
So it's like problem solving, critical thinking, all that.
Exactly. And adaptability,
Well, right, because things are changing so fast.
All the time. So you got to be able to learn new things quickly.
Like the only constant is change.
Right. And the script really emphasizes that this idea of lifelong learning, it never stops.
Not just in school, but like your whole life.
Exactly. And technology can help with that.
Right. We talked about how can personalized learning connect you with experts.
Provide access to so much information.
It's like your learning buddy.
I like that. You're a learning buddy.
So if we're moving away from memorization and toward these, dynamic skills,
Yes.
what kind of learning environments do we need? What does the script say about that?
Well, it highlights a few things.
Okay.
Personalized learning, like we saw with EduBot.
Right. Tailoring the experience to each student.
Exactly. And then hands-on learning, project-based stuff.
Oh, yeah, where they actually get to apply what they're learning.
Exactly. Build things, create, experiment.
And even with all this tech, the script still says that teachers are important.
Oh, absolutely.
They're not going anywhere.
No, their role is changing, but they're still crucial.
Yeah, more like mentors, guides.
Facilitators,
Yeah.
helping students navigate this new world.
It's like a partnership, the teacher and student.
I love that. A partnership.
So we've talked about what it means to be educated from, the student's point of view.
Yeah.
But why should society care about all of this?
That's a great question, and I think the answer is pretty simple.
Okay, lay it on me.
The future of education is the future of our society.
Whoa.
It's that important.
So we're not just shaping individuals, we're shaping the world.
Exactly. And the script ends on this really powerful note.
Okay.
It says that the future of education isn't set in stone,
We can change it.
We have a say in what it looks like.
So as we wrap up, I want to leave our listeners with a question.
Right.
What kind of future do you want for education? What would you create for yourself, for your kids, for your community?
Think about it, because the future of learning is in our hands.
That's all for this deep dive into the future of education.
Thanks for joining us.
We hope it sparked some ideas and got you thinking about the possibilities, because the future is coming and we can shape it together.